And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 2 here in the fourth place match of the TLS Season 2. So the next map is going to be Match Point, with Julia up 1-0 in this best of 5 series. Once again, the winner of this will get $50 third place prize. The loser goes home with nothing. Although, I guess 4th place isn't a bad achievement. So you get some glory there. But yeah, crazy game there for game number 1. And I don't know, I mean, you know, TerrOr held on pretty well, but it just felt like Julia was in control the entire game. You know, even though at some points TerrOr moved out and, you know, killed a base here and there, but yeah, Julia seems really on top of it there. So we'll see if TerrOr can pull it back here in game number 2. Now, Match Point does allow you to do similar cheesy strategies like on Jade. You can, again, go for the slow lurker drop here if you want. You can actually do it properly, do a proper slow lurker drop. You don't need to get speed here because, of course, it is a 2-player map, and so you can position your overlords perfectly, knowing your opponent's spawn. And there's also, you know, other shenanigans you can do. 2H mute, of course, is also the other very popular strategy on this map. So I guess we'll have to see. And yeah, let's go straight into it. Game number 2. Alright, here we are in game number 2 at the bottom left. As the teal Zerg, we have Julia. Top right, as the blue Terran, we have KT TerrOr. As the yellow observer, we have Apoxi, because of course we cannot allow Tupocalypse into these games, lest he be banned or kicked, or just leave. So yeah, again, this map can definitely lead to some interesting things. So, as you can see, there is a little wall here by the main base of TerrOr. And in fact, there's no wall here. There's a very short little gap that you can slow drop lurkers across. So quite a big area there for TerrOr to be aware of if Julia does try something like that. Or Julia can just go for the more standard 2-hatch Mutalisk opening, which is very strong on this map. So there is also this little, you know, wall area behind the natural, which also kind of juts out into the main base and allows you to come in here and attack as well fairly easily, although the main mineral line itself is kind of against the map edge, so not as easy to harass as some maps. The Overlord, of course, going straight over because it is a 2-player map. And it doesn't look like TerrOr's trying anything crazy either. Of course, you know, just as much as Zerg can do silly things on this map, I think Terran and Protoss can probably do even a greater variety of cheeses. There's lots of places to proxy. You can even proxy inside your opponent's base by sneaking an early worker in. So, you know, those are some things that Julia should be aware of, although he doesn't seem too scared. He did go for what looks like an overpull here, so that opening in itself will mean he doesn't have to worry too much about early aggression, since he will have the Lings out in good order. And looks like SCV and Probe gonna see each other here in the middle of the map. Seeing this should definitely, you know, assure Julia that there isn't any crazy proxy going on, unless that's some like uber sneaky second SCV, but obviously we can see it's not. I'm gonna be setting a drone scout anyway just to confirm what the what his opponent's build is. Now it looks like TerrOr is going for a 1-Rax expand again here on Match Point. I don't know, I'm wondering if TerrOr might go for something interesting here. I think against Michael, he went for like a fast Goliath attack. Is that right? He went for a 5-pack. Did he go for 5-pack Goliath against Michael? No. I think that was against someone else. I'm actually not sure anymore. No, I think it was against Michael where he opened 5-pack Goliath. Actually had the attack stopped easily. And then... oh, no. Maybe I think it was 1-base 3-fact Goliath opening or something like that, and then he got owned, but then he somehow came back in the game anyway. And ooh, look at this, we have an interesting Tipo command center wall that TerrOr's made, so this will actually keep him nice and safe against those against the early Lings from Julia. So normally, you know, with 1-Rax expand, you build it at the expansion, but in this case, because his opponent did go for a pool first opening instead of a 12 hatch, he's decided to do this little wall. Now that does, oops, excuse me. Ah! Well, there goes my surprise for later. That is the Technics video, by the way. Since of course we have Technics in the finals. Yeah. Totally playing that one again. Anyway, it looks like this might, is this a link type wall? I wasn't actually sure if this was link type. But it looks like it is. So, huh. That's interesting, although he is going to be able to grab the SCV when it does go on the outside. So that's quite cool. And in the meantime, SCV moving out. And we do have a 2-hatch opening. So again, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a 2-hatch Muta, especially since the SCV is still scouting out inside the main base. Very unlikely that I'll try to go for lurkers here. I mean, I guess he still could if he can grab this SCV, but if the SCV is still scouting around, and you throw that on the Hydra Den, I mean, you know, 2-hatch lurker, you really kind of needed to go unscouted. You wanted to, in any case. So, looks like Command Center gonna float down over here. We already have 2 barracks in the main base, as well as an academy, so it looks like this follow-up is something we're, or at least I'm a little bit more familiar with, the T-Rex Academy, instead of going for the fast gas, plus the academy first. And Spire should be on the way shortly. Yep, there it is. Yoink. So, 2-hatch Muta it is. And Scouting SCV is even making an escape here. It looks like it might escape. TerrOr, interesting, actually moved out with a whole bunch of Marines here just to scare Julia a little bit. It did force 1 sunken colony, and it looks like a few extra Zerglings. Zergling speed also now finished. He might be going for a counterattack, but there's plenty of Marines here, as you can see. As long as TerrOr doesn't get caught in a very awkward position while he's attacking or something, I think he'll be fine. In fact, even if he does, he's got so many Marines, I think he'll be fine anyway. First couple of medics on the way as well. And so, yeah, we're just gonna have to wait a little bit for the Mutas to come out. Doesn't look like Julia is making any additional Zerglings. Sometimes, you know, players, when they go 2-hatch Muta, they'll make a big wave of Zerglings before the Mutas come out, so they can try and kill as many Marines as possible. You can see TerrOr being very careful, actually, moving his Marines back as well. Does not want anything like that to happen. So kind of using the Command Center to block a little bit, even building a bunker here as well to minimize the opening that the Zerglings can get through. In the meantime, Julia doing a good job just using a couple of random Zerglings to just scout around here. Just looks like this one's on patrol move. I think they're just patrolling between these bases. Yeah, they're actually both patrolling between these side expansions, just making sure there's no hidden expansions going up for TerrOr. And they can also, of course, scout for dropships as well. So those it's very likely dropships will try and sneak around the side there. So he'll be prepared for that. In the meantime, most of the Mutas on the way. He does get the scan off. He sees all the larvae making at the same time, so you know he should know that the Mutas are currently being produced. And interestingly, this move out actually scared Julia into making 2 additional Sunkens, but he cancels one, knowing that the Mutas will be out in time anyway. So even if the Marines do go in there with 2 Sunkens and the Mutas, he should be fine. Meanwhile, it's like one drone hiding at the top left, so Julia is planning to take this base as his third. A lot of players will take the 6 o'clock instead, even though by ground it might be a little bit further away. I think it's a similar distance, but you know you can defend it more easily just with a couple of locals, I think. Anyway, it looks like TerrOr, ooh, not quite grabbing a free Overlord. Oh, actually uses another scan for it, although the scan also helps him see these Mutas on the high ground. Has to be a little bit careful here, but you know, grabbing that 1 Overlord is actually bigger than you might think, because going 2-hatch Muta, you are hurting your economy a little bit. You can see the drone saturation is not good at all for Julia, and that's a sacrifice he's made to get these fast Mutas out. So losing that 1 Overlord, actually, you know, forced to spend that extra 100 minerals is quite painful for him. Meanwhile, TerrOr is actually sending most of his Marines to the top left to deny that third, and just is going to rely on his reinforcements and his turrets to hold on to his Ashland. So far, it's doing a good job here. Julia not able to get many kills, and looks like forcing poor Epoxide out of the game. So perhaps going to help his micro a little bit here. Meanwhile, the Marines heading down to the natural. There are 3 Sunkens there, as well as a few links. So I don't think these Marines can do it. You know, with 3 medics there, it's questionable. He could try it, but I think it'll be quite a risky move there if he does want to break that. Especially since Julia can easily build some more units out of the force. Meanwhile, it looks like Julia's actually found a nice little opening here at the back of the main. And for some reason, TerrOr actually has a really low SCV count here. I'm not actually sure what's going on. It looks like, actually, his overall SCV count is not high. But he is going in the front, but oh man, look at this, the bust! not working at all. He grabs 3 drones, it looks like, but loses most of the Marines there, so going for the bust anyway, despite my cautionary word of warning. So now TerrOr both has, you know, not many ACVs and has also lost that main force in the middle of the map. So he's in pretty rough shape here against these Mutas of Julia. You can see Julia just going in here, cleaning up the rest of those Marines and medics. And now, what is this? 50 supply for Julia against just 45 for TerrOr. TerrOr is turtling up with a lot of turrets, as you can see here, closing up the holes in that main base. Man, he's built a ton of turrets, but I guess he has to, considering he's now got a very low number of Marines. Wait, where are his Marines anyway? Okay, oh man, he's not even got a single control group of medic Marine, and look at how many Mutas there are. There's more Mutas than Marines on the map right now, and that is not a good thing for TerrOr. The only good thing going for him right now is that Julia's supply block. He also did deny Julia's third, so at least that's good. You know, there's no third base from Berserk, but if Julia keeps killing SCVs, it doesn't really matter if he has a third or not, because Terrence Vine is going to be shot as well. It looks like Julia's commit with the Mutas, taking a lot of damage, but he does have enough to finish off the Marines, it looks like. Oh man, and now TerrOr, he's got 2 turrets, but they're out of range. His main mineral line is completely exposed here. Julia just getting the right position, and not much that TerrOr can do about this. Oh man, he's just huddling around the 2 turrets, but he just has nothing. He's building more Marines here. He's got 5 Marines again, but that's it. And these Mutas are still just chilling in the back. So, Alright, a few more Mutas here chilling at the front. Looks like Hydroden is ready. Third base going up at the top left. Julia transitioning out quite nicely here, but it looks like +1 has now finished for the Marines, and a starport is up as well, so... oh, the science facility is done as well. Actually, I didn't even notice that. Both of the natural here, so, you know, TerrOr is on the way to stopping these Mutas, but, you know, Radiate, as you can see, is still a little ways away. He doesn't actually have the first vessel yet anyway. And these Mutas are still a pretty serious threat here. Looks like they're now going for the natural. There's 3 turrets here, 4 turrets in range, but it looks like they're just going to force them down anyway, just brute forcing down the turrets. The Marines coming in here. Looks like they're getting a little bit stuck on the SCVs, but oh man, Julia just getting a little bit stuck there for some reason. It looks like the Mutalisk AI bugged out or something, or maybe missed microed, or I'm not really sure what happened there. It looks like for some reason the Mutas all just suddenly stopped. Maybe there's a lag spike, I have no idea. But Julia taking a pretty severe hit right there with that momentary pause, and that might have actually helped TerrOr to regain some control here. Julia going down to 41 supply, TerrOr back up to 53. That one mistake, you know, could have cost Julia a quick win here. It looks like, although he is just going into lurkers as well, he's got his third base up, so it was by no means a Muta all-in, but he definitely made a ton of Mutas for that. And lost a bunch of them, although it looks like he's getting ready to bomb the first science vessel here. There's a couple of Scourge in the mix here. He's going to keep them clumped with or stacked with the Mutas. No, he's not going to stack them with the Mutas. He's going to keep them in the back here. You can't just stack them with the Mutas. So this is going to hold them back. And, oh, here we go. They're running away. The vessel's not getting too far ahead of itself. It's got one Irradiate. Okay, the Irradiate is going to come now, and there's the Irradiate. The Scourge are going in, but it looks like the Scourge, are they going to connect? No! Only one Scourge connects, and oh my god, every single Muta falls. Julia sacrificed all his Mutas and didn't even get the vessel. He's now down to 43 supply against 65. A complete turnaround here. Julia, who was dominating the early mid-game here with those Mutas, suddenly has not a single one remaining. He's now gone into Lurker Tech. He's getting range attack once again. It looks like he's going for Hydra Lurker again. Although he's not getting the Hydra upgrades, but going for +1 attack if you're just going Lurker Ling is fairly unusual. You almost always see Carapace instead. So that's a little bit weird. And now it looks like TerrOr, having cleaned up all those Mutas, feels confident enough to move out, and he should. This is exactly correct. He doesn't want to let those Lurkers get into position to contain him, so he's going to go out. He's got his 2 vessels up. He actually made no sea shanks yet this time. He's just focused on the vessels, getting a second starport immediately, getting additional barracks, and going to work on those upgrades. Ooh, look at that, nice timing here. Second eBay finishing exactly as his armor finishes, so you can get 2-2 well, at the same time. Now, what does Julia have? Yeah, Julia is actually going Hydra Lurker here. Very interesting stuff. Hydra Lurker is a style I quite enjoy, but Julia does it a little bit strangely, I think. But As we saw last game, it was fairly effective, although, is he going to be able to come up here? Ooh, it's two lurkers on the ramp there just in time. You have to be aware there is a second ramp here into the top left base, so if TerrOr swings around there, he can get up, but the lurkers, I think, have a shorter distance to reposition, so they can easily go swing over there. And, oh, I just heard a vessel die. Sorry, I missed that. One of the vessels does fall. Still one remaining, and it looks like, oh, TerrOr's going to come in here. Oh, man, the lurkers are running way too far ahead. What on earth was that? Julia making a colossal blunder with his lurkers and taps out of the game. I don't even... What? Okay, so, well, the good old Suicide 6 lurkers into GG. Classic maneuver, classic. So with that, we are going into game number 3 here. Gonna go to a quick break. BRB.